things. He seems on pretty good form, quite relaxed. So.
Not too many hugs, consoling ones.
No.
You've seen me have a few fights over the last 4.5 years.
Yes. No, definitely.
There have been a few back-to-the-wall moments.
The Camerons visited a charity in Birmingham, which helps train people and get them back to work. It even runs the local park.
It's going to fit like a glove.
The unemployed should get help, he says, but those who refuse to work should lose their benefits. An idea which met with approval here.
Got to make work pay.
That's very true. They don't really want to make an effort for themselves.
Do you know people like that?
Oh, tons. There's a lot of people like that.
And what do you think about that?
They need to get up and do something with themselves.
Labour says there are already rules which mean the government does exactly what the Tories promise on their new poster.
It doesn't. It's completely ineffective. You were with me in that social enterprise where a young guy who's working hard, I asked him, do you know lots of people who are on welfare, who could work, who get offered jobs? And he said, yes, tons.
But there are sanctions under government rules. Are you saying that you will rewrite those entirely?
Yes, we're saying that within 6 months we will have a new welfare contract to make sure that if you are offered work and you don't take it, you can't go on claiming your benefits as you were before.
How are you? How are you?
Waiting to greet him in Tamworth, political friends and those somewhat less friendly.
Chicken, how are you? My friend, very good to see you. Has everyone met my new friend from the Daily Mirror?
The Tory leader's determined to show he's not afraid to take questions from the Mirror.
Unveil you. Who is it?
Or indeed from anyone else.
David Cameron's campaign is in trouble and he knows it. He describes this as one of his back-to-the-wall moments, which is maybe why he's out here on the streets.
What are you going to do about the scrounges?
Well, I'm making a speech tonight all about that. We're going to say if you can work and you don't work, you can't go on getting your benefits if you're offered a proper job.
He's trying to recapture the excitement that surrounded him before Nick Clegg became the public's #1 choice for baby kissing. You were at 40% in the polls, you're now barely above 30. What has gone wrong?
I think an election inevitably throws open all of the possibilities, and that's what's happened. But at the end, it's still the same question. If you want change, and the country does, and if you want to wake up to change on May the 7th, then a Conservative victory is what can bring that change. A new team, a new approach, a new way of delivering public services in a better way. Any other result could leave you literally stuck with what you've already got, could leave you with the same Prime Minister, the same team, and actually could reinforce the failure of the last 13 years.
The Tories and the Labour Party have done this country no good whatsoever.
As David Cameron left for home today, a Liberal Democrat wanted him to know that they were ready to stand in his way, as he claims to be the only one who can deliver change. Nick Robinson, BBC News, Burton-on-Trent.
Well, let's talk about the state of the campaign. Brian Taylor, our Scotland political editor, with me here in Edinburgh. Brian, good to have you with us. Just a thought, first of all, about the SNP. You were at the launch today of their manifesto. This is a party, and the leader really, they do know a thing or two about hung parliaments.
They do indeed. Alex Salmond has daily experience of this cross-party negotiation. He leads a minority administration in the Scottish Parliament just across the way there. But conventional wisdom has it that hung parliaments and Westminster don't mix. Alex Salmond says that these are not conventional times. The voters are looking for more like an insurgency than a standard election. Now, Mr. Salmond's rivals say he will not be a player, he will not be in the game. His response to that is to say that if the arithmetic adds up, then the SNP will be very much players in the post-election situation at Westminster.
What's your assessment of the state of the campaign here in Scotland? We heard the Lib Dems there saying, oh, the SNP is not relevant, this is a Westminster election. How do you see the differences?
The Liberal Democrats faced that same sort of complaint in the past and indeed are facing it at the present time in this election. With regard to the election in Scotland, it's very distinct, it's very different, because issues like health and education, policing and justice are handled by the Scottish Parliament, not by Westminster. But you know, Hugh, there's a big tent that encompasses all of it. That's the overall level of public spending that funds those services, even although they are devolved. And of course, above all, it's the economy that drives that public spending. That overarches everything for this election.
Brian, once again, thank you very much. Brian Taylor there. There'll be more from Edinburgh before the end of the programme. Fiona, back to you.
Hugh, thanks very much indeed.